Hello and welcome to the Etch Play Weekly Live Show, episode 51. Today is the 2nd of September 2021, and that means it's our birthday. It is officially our 1-year anniversary of doing the live show, and we are so excited to be here. 51 shows later, still on the air, not been cancelled, and just happy to still be here, to be honest. We've got a great show for you today. Here's what's coming up. We have all the Gamescom news with a special guest I'll introduce you to in just a second. We've got an Xbox birthday cake. We're eating Xbox birthday cake. We're taste testing it. We're letting you know what exactly Xbox controllers taste like when they're made out of cake sponge. And then later on in the show, we'll be talking about Reddit. Dan Thomas will be here to talk all about Reddit, about how to succeed on Reddit, about how to post your trailers on Reddit, how to make them work on Reddit. So stick around for that. If you're a marketer interested in marketing, that will be very helpful. And slight bonus, because it's our birthday show, at the end of today's show, we'll be reviewing some of our highlights and best bits from the past 51 episodes. So thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And hello to those in the chat. Who have we got? We've got Pete. Hi, Pete. Happy birthday. Thank you very much. We've got Long Steve. Thank you, Steve. We always appreciate you tuning in. You've been here like the whole time, basically, since day one almost. Hello to Experimental Space and Ben Gammon. Hello. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it. I mentioned we've got a special guest, and it's time to introduce him. His name is the one, the only, Dan Allman from Deep Silver. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for presenting me with my full title there. It's a mouthful.
Yeah, you legally changed your name to Allman from Deep Silver. That's your new last name. We're going to talk about Gamescom. So if you missed this, last week Gamescom started in Germany. It's a big games expo open to the public, traditionally a physical event. Obviously this year, a little bit different with all the COVID regulations going on, but still lots of game announcements, lots of brand new game trailers. And we thought what we would do is go through a few of them. And you'll notice that Dan is particularly well placed for one of them, because the first one we're going to talk about is Saints Row. So congratulations to Dan Allman and the rest of the team at Deep Silver for the unveiling of a new Saints Row. Congratulations, Dan. Do you feel good about this?
It's just such like a massive weight off. We've had this sort of in our pocket. You know, we've all sort of seen it and sort of lived it for so long, and just sort of really happy to get it out there finally.
Yeah. And it's a brand new game. It's a reboot, new characters, a new setting. We've heard a bit about it during the opening night live stream. We saw a CG trailer, which the folks at home can see in the background now. We also saw a little bit of gameplay as well, which was really exciting during the show. You must be excited about this. It must feel great to put it out into the world and see the reaction and get that feeling. Is it good?
Absolutely. I think a lot of pretty much all the team. One of the reasons for joining companies like Deep Silver, you look at the sort of games list and what they've done before. And Saints Row is one of those games that a lot of us are really, really extremely passionate about. So after Saints Row 4, even just as a fan, you sort of ask yourself, where can you go from being the president of, I think, the world in an augmented reality simulation fighting aliens?
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of legroom left. So I think the more that the team at Volition sort of looked at it and sort of thought, where can we go? The reboot just seemed to be that sort of resounding, big idea of what they can do with the series.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of new stuff, but the core of what Saints Row is still, and like I think that's what the whole point of the trailer was. Like they're still showing all of that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's grounded, but with that Saints Row charm, it's still there. It's not 100% serious by any means.
Yeah, it looks great. Can't wait to see more. And obviously fans can find more at saintsrow.com if they're interested in learning more about Saints Row. There's all sorts of information up there, and more information.
Whoever built that site.
Yeah, whoever built that site was a genius. Like just top to bottom, like perfect website. But yeah, you can find more there, and I know that you guys are launching more content there all the time. So yeah, fans of Saints Row should definitely check that out. We were happy to get you on the show because obviously Saints Row has been announced, but I also happen to know that you're a big fan of games in general, not just the ones that you directly work on. So we thought we'd go through a few trailers as well of some of the other stuff that got announced and talk about it. The next one, or the first one I want to talk about really, is Marvel's Midnight Suns. So this is a new Marvel game from Firaxis, the creators of XCOM. It's a tactical RPG that's going to explore the darker side of the Marvel universe, including some characters like Doctor Strange, Blade, and Ghost Rider, but also seemingly like magic-enhanced, maybe even slightly evil versions of fan favourites like Iron Man, Captain America, and Wolverine. We've seen some gameplay now as well from this, and it looks somewhat like you'd expect out of the XCOM team, kind of turn-based combat. However, in interviews, they have been keen to point out that XCOM is about making you feel weak, and in this game, you're a superhero, right? So they want you to make you feel really powerful. So it's going to be pretty different in terms of how those mechanics translate into the actual gameplay, it sounds like. Are you excited for this one, Dan? What do you make of this?
Yeah, like the most interesting thing for me with this is it's a Marvel game, but with, by the sounds of it, a completely custom hero, which I don't think has been done before in a Marvel game. So really interested to see how that all sort of plays out. I think there's some sort of idea that some parts of that are sort of locked, like the story behind the hero is that they're the son or daughter of, I think, the main baddie.
The villain. The big bad.
There she is. Yeah, so really interested to see how that plays out. But you know, it's got some of my all-time faves in there, like having a game that's sort of crossing over stuff like Iron Man and Wolverine is always going to be a big tick for me. So yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, and obviously there was the Avengers game last year, which scratched some itches for fans, but maybe this is something a bit different to that, which is quite exciting. It's not just like a traditional third-person action brawler. So yeah, really excited to see and hear more from this. Also unveiled at the show was new footage from Call of Duty. We got an extended look actually, about 9 minutes of gameplay from Call of Duty, including some really cinematic set pieces, which the franchise is somewhat known for. And obviously it's World War II. Do we think this game's going to be a success? I think it is, isn't it? Like, Call of Duty is always a success. They almost don't need to advertise it. It's like the Coca-Cola of video games at this point. You know, people are going to drink that anyway. But still fascinating to see it in action, to see the kind of level of intensity they're aiming for with some of the set pieces. Are you a Call of Duty fan, Dan? Will you be picking this one up this holiday season?
Yeah, it's one of those that like I've not sort of invested enough in the sort of campaign side of Call of Duty for a few years now, like since, you know, the old soap days. So I'm really excited by this one. I think the idea of having these sort of like 4 lead characters through the campaign is going to be really interesting. As much as I think there's some New Zealanders out there that are a little bit annoyed about one of them being Australian.
They've retconned New Zealand into Australia. It's all the same. According to Activision, it's all just one big island.
But yeah, I think it looks great, and I think they've even doubled down. I think on their website at the minute they've literally got it in the title as like the best World War game ever, or something along those lines. So I think they know what they're doing. Yeah,
definitely looks cinematic as hell. It looks like it's got that almost Uncharted type. Stuff's just exploding around you. There's houses falling down. You're inside the house or outside the house. There's bricks falling on you. All sorts of things. So yeah, excited to see more from that. And you can watch the whole thing, obviously, on YouTube if you want to see all 9 minutes. I'm not going to play you all 9 minutes on the show. That's like half our runtime. But yeah, definitely an interesting look at that. Now for something completely different. Let's talk about Dokkan V. So this game... I'm going to play you this trailer now. And I love this trailer. When I first saw this trailer, I was like, I don't know what's going on, I don't get it. And after watching this trailer 4 or 5 times, I feel like I'm extremely into it. So let's give the fans at home, or the folks at home, I should say, future fans of Dokkan V, a glimpse at this. So it's, how do we even describe this? You're exploring a city, you're capturing creatures, you're fighting creatures, and it's all rendered in this kind of gorgeous, half cartoon, half photorealistic style, which I think is just incredible. It's got that great Japanese kind of pop soundtrack, that kind of, you know, Asian pop music sound, which we love. And yeah, I mean, have you watched this trailer, Dan? How many times have you watched this trailer is the first question.
Like, when I first saw it, I had to watch it again almost instantly just to check I hadn't fallen asleep and dreamt some really weird, vivid dream. But it's bonkers, isn't it? It is like they've really reined in all these various like levels from, you know, there's almost some elements of almost like Dragon Ball in there, and then you've got, yeah, obviously like aspects of Pokemon, like some of the world feels like Katamari style madness.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not going to be fun, is it? This game is going to be insane. Like, I think if you can take on, giant creatures with one of those space hopper things, you're going to be all right.
Yeah, I mean, folks at home now can see you get to ride Little Alpaca as well, so it's clearly the game of the year. I apologise to Saints Row and all the other games, but unless you could ride an alpaca, I'm not interested anymore. It's a new IP, and we've had a couple of new IPs before, but I mean, Deep Silver launched new IPs as well from time to time, and obviously it's really difficult. Like, how important is that first big trailer for a new IP, do you think?
I think, specifically with the new IPs, like, you just need that wow factor, and especially if you're showing something like this off during an event like Gamescom, it's that, how are you going to make this sort of stick in the back of people's minds, so that when it's all over and they're chatting with their mates, that they go, did you see that? And I mean, could they have done much better than they've done with this? I don't think so. Anyone I know that's watched it has gone, this has come up in the conversation.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's interesting that the sort of wackiness has then, not to always go back to digital marketing, I know that's my forte, but if you go over to their website, it's all very, very like this as well. Like, it's like you scroll down and things are moving all over the place and things like that. So they've really sort of got the tone right, I think, for what it looks like this game is.
A remarkable sense of style. Other games shown at the event included Sifu, Cult of the Lamb, and Jet the Far Shore. And one of the big games that showed up, perhaps somewhat surprisingly because it was not at the Microsoft event the day before, is Halo Infinite. So we saw some new cinematics, and they announced their release date. It's December 8th, which is an unusual release date in the world of games because it means they're skipping the biggest holiday sales in America, the traditional Black Friday sales. But I guess the question is, and this is a question I'm going to throw to you, Dan, for a game like Halo, does that matter? Like, this is going to Game Pass on day one. It's a juggernaut of a franchise, not quite the level it was when Halo 3 came out, but it still does good numbers whenever they release something. Is this going to affect them releasing that late in the year?
I think you've hit the nail on the head. The thing is that this is Halo on Game Pass day one. Is the intention for this to shift units, or is it to shift people buying memberships for Christmas or upgrading to the Series X if they can get their hands on one? Obviously,
yeah.
I think that's got to be the strategy of why they're pushing it early December. I can't see why else they've picked that date, or why they're not holding back for the sort of co-op multiplayer elements and stuff that are still being worked on and things like that. So
yes, so you mentioned there, we already know that Forge and Campaign Co-op will not be available at launch. I guess people are wondering, and fans are wondering, is this launch date the sign of a game that needs every minute it can get of dev time before it comes out? Is this symptomatic of troubled development? I know there's been lots of stories out of the Halo team. There's been comings and goings at high-level ranking, staff there. Who knows? I'm sure there'll be a Bloomberg article about it one day, which blows our minds about how complicated the development was of Halo Infinite. But I guess maybe some cause for concern there. People are starting to wonder, this game was supposed to come out last year, and if half of it's still not ready this year, what's going on? What's going on at 343 right now? But hopefully they can iron it out, because I think you, like me, we're both Halo fans. We want this game to succeed, we want it to be good. So fingers crossed, and good luck if you work at 343. I hope the next few months aren't too painful for you. In further Xbox news, we found out that cloud gaming is coming to consoles. This is Xbox's service where through Game Pass you can play games from the internet directly onto your machine, regardless of how powerful your machine is. What this means is you'll now be able to try before you install with games on Game Pass. So from your console, you'll be able to try a game without downloading the entire thing. And it also means, in interesting news for fans of the older consoles, if you own an Xbox One owners will be able to play Xbox Series X versions of games, and even potentially Xbox Series X exclusive games, through cloud gaming. So it's almost like helping people who haven't been able to find an Xbox Series X yet still keep up with the latest trends in gaming. Dan, have you tried cloud gaming on Game Pass? Are you excited for this?
I'm really excited for it. Like I say, it's one of those where this is an even geekier sort of thing. Why this is a big solution for me is I work and game out in the shed because I'm a dad of two very smallings, and constantly if I'm out here and it's like a bit cold or a bit hot and you think, oh, I'll go game inside, you don't really want to lug everything sort of out of here into the idea of maybe being able to get like a cheap Xbox One and sort of stick it in the living room and sort of have that as a sort of cloud piece. I think that's going to be a massive game changer. Like the amount of people that are suddenly going to have more than one Xbox console in their home, I think it's going to be a biggie.
Yeah. And obviously already available on phones, so if you want to try it on a phone right now, in a browser on a PC, you can do. We tried it on the show a little while ago. It's impressive. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely an impressive showcase of technology, and hopefully they'll continue to improve it over time. Last news story then for the week. We've got some updates for you about Horizon Forbidden West, which we've talked about on the show previously, was delayed due to the pandemic. And we now know that it's coming out in February. In fact, it's currently slated for the 18th of February. So good news for Horizon fans. Dan, you're a Horizon fan. Are you ready for this?
It's you know when it first got announced, the original Horizon, and we had this sort of like, oh, it kind of looks a bit like it's too much like Tomb Raider with dinosaurs. That was my selling point. I was like, it does look like Tomb Raider with dinosaurs, doesn't it? Let's get it. But like I say, the sort of the advancements they've made in this one already look insane. I think. Yeah, I'm really excited by this, and even more excited the fact that it's really not that long to wait either. I think it was one of those that everyone was sort of a little bit worried we were going to get like a vague late 2022 date. But February's not that long. By the time Christmas is over and the hangovers have disappeared from New Year's, it'll be here. So.
The day you give up on New Year's resolution is the day that you pre-order Horizon. Cool. Well, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that little slice of gaming news. If you like gaming news, if you're interested in more insights and views from the Etch Play team, check out our blog at etchplay.com. Every Friday we post a roundup of all the latest industry news that's been interesting to us. So hopefully you guys find it interesting too. And we'll be back next week with more. Dan, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Enjoy the cake.
Thank you. We're going to throw to a pre-recorded segment, which is me eating some of that aforementioned cake. So I can tell you I did enjoy it, but you get all the details in this video right here. I'll be back after this with Dan and Thomas talk all about Reddit, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Hey, you're still watching the Etch Play Weekly live show with me, your host today, Adam Burt. And for this segment, I'm joined by Ben Joy. He's here to celebrate the birthday of the Etch Play Weekly live show. Happy birthday to us, Ben. Congratulations, we've made it a year. How do you feel?
I'm very surprised. I didn't think we would make it this far. You said we were going to go for a live show. Like, yeah, that sounds like a cool idea. I didn't ever think we would consistently do it for a full year, bar New Year's Day maybe. Otherwise, every single week.
Well, to celebrate, today we are eating this Xbox-themed birthday cake and giving our taste test impressions. You can see in the background there a little bit of B-roll of me showing off the box, doing my best model pose. So you can enjoy that for a moment just while we get set up here. We've already cut the cake, so I have a slice here, and Ben J, you also have a slice.
Need the D-pad.
Yeah, you've got the D-pad. I've got the start button, and I've got the A button here as well. I can eat that separately.
Nice.
A.
Do you have to eat that first to confirm that we're going ahead?
So yeah, we're going to eat this, and that's we're just going to take a bite at the same time and give our taste test impressions, right?
I like this segment. We should do this every week.
Eat food.
Just us eating something every week.
If you have any ideas for game-themed food or drink you want us to eat on the show, just send it in.
Or just any kind of food. Yeah,
right.
I'll eat anything.
You ready to go? What are you going for?
I'm ready to go.
I'm just going for a bit of solid controller.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of something. I think maybe like a start button or something.
All right, let's go. 3, 2,
I feel like I've gone too big, but
1.
It'll be fine. It's cake.
Hard-hitting journalism. It's cake.
It's spongy with some cream and jam, bit of icing.
Yeah, it's Victoria Sponge vibes. I
like it.
I'm going to eat the A button. Have you got any buttons you can eat?
I've got the share button.
Yeah, eat the share button.
I'm going to eat the share button.
I'm going to eat the A button. Press A to eat. Classic icing flavour. Quite standard. It's quite plain.
Yeah.
It isn't a
This
bad
one doesn't
thing.
taste quite as much like Halo as the donut did.
Doesn't taste like Halo.
Can't
It
taste any
tastes
mark.
like
Can't taste-
tastes like
any
Blinks
marketing
the
in this.
Time Sweeper. I've got a little bumper here. Have you got any bumpers? A little black bumper.
Oh, maybe that's what I ate first.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
well, I'll
that
catch
was
up. I'll eat the bumper.
All right, I'm going to start eating the D-pad.
Oh, my bumper's chocolatey. Was your bumper chocolatey?
Oh, no, I didn't have a bumper then. Oh, damn. Oh, no, my bumper's up there. Are you sure? It doesn't... I have the rest of the cake here. I will eat myself through the course of the day. But that doesn't look like it's going to be chocolatey, that bumper.
Eat the bumper. Tell me if it's chocolate or if I'm dreaming.
All right, I think you are going to be dreaming. No. I think there is some chocolate in there. You're right. I apologise.
Little twist. We thought it was plain.
Yeah.
It's not plain. Little chocolate
Yeah.
bumpers.
Little chocolate hint. Let's see this D-pad. I love birthdays. Well, other than my own.
Do you have a joystick? I've got a little piece of a joystick here.
I do.
Okay,
Do you want
last
me to
bit then.
eat
Let's go for some
joystick
joystick.
as well?
And I'm going to stop eating.
I'm not going to eat some joystick because I'm just going to have to rip the whole thing off.
Alright.
I'll just keep eating regular cake. It's good.
It's good. If you know an Xbox fan, and it's their birthday, why not buy the official Xbox cake? You can buy this in supermarkets. I got it in Sainsbury's here in the UK.
Even if it's not your birthday and you just want some cake,
Just
some
treat
cake.
yourself.
We don't judge.
Happy birthday to us and the Etch Play Weekly live show. We're going to throw back to the studio for another segment. See you soon. Hey, welcome back. You're still watching the Etch Play Weekly live show, the special birthday edition, because it's our 1 year anniversary. And I'm joined now by the very first guest we ever had on the show, Dan Thomas. Welcome back, 1 year later.
Hello, happy birthday to us. Well done. Well done for eating cake again. That's, putting in the hard work there.
Deadly serious. If you see anything gaming related in a shop, I don't care if it's a drink or if it's food, send us the details. I will buy it, I will expense it, and I will eat it on the show for you. Shouts out to the people in the chat. Who have we got? We've got Emma Budd, thanks for tuning in. We've got Miles, thanks for tuning in, Miles. And yeah, anyone else who's in chat and wants a shout out, let us know. Just give us a little wave and I will give you one. We're going to talk about Reddit. Dan, are you a Redditor? Do you use Reddit?
I am a bit of a lurker on Reddit. I'm not overly active in contributing to Reddit. I think Reddit is kind of like one of those. It's become so big. I feel like it gets labelled with an identity, but really it's just like any suitably large community. There are pockets of goodness and pockets of terribleness, and yeah.
Oh, there's pockets of terribleness, all right.
There's lots of scope on Reddit.
Okay, well, those of you who don't know, Reddit's a social network that specialises in aggregation of content, which basically means it gathers material from across the internet and allows users to upvote it into popularity, downvote it into obscurity, and comment on it extensively. It's often thought of as being outside the traditional list of social networks, but there are approximately 52 million so-called Redditors browsing the site on a daily basis. And for some users, particularly in this kind of 25 to 29 age bracket, this is a site that dominates their social activity. It's the one they use the most, racking up loads of hours every week. So with that in mind, it's not surprising that Reddit has a thriving community of gaming fans, creators, and aficionados. And for today's show, and we're also doing this on the blog as well, so you'll be able to read this back later, we wanted to crunch some numbers based on one popular gaming subreddit, which is a section of the site dedicated entirely to games. For the purposes of this, we used r/games, which is a part of Reddit that has around 3 million users. It isn't the most popular gaming subreddit, which will be r/gaming, But our gaming has loads of memes and other stuff that just gets in the way of the data, whereas games is a bit more focused. So they have some news stories in there, but also they share a lot of trailers with no other context, just here's a new game, check it out. So we looked at that and we established what 10 of the most successful posts ever were, from original IP right through to things that are well established. And we've ranked them on our blog and given them a little blurb and talked about why each one's so successful. What I wanted to do with you here today, Dan, is just pick out a few of the titles that we're talking about in the blog, give you a little flavour of the blog, and share some of those lessons, and also give some generic Reddit tips at the end as well. So if you are looking to succeed on Reddit, this is the video segment that you need. Sound good?
Sounds excellent.
Cool.
Hit me with it.
I'm glad, because I spent at least 15 minutes putting this together. First up, we've got No Man's Sky, and the trailer in question here is actually the trailer of one of their updates, titled The Next Update. There have actually been a bunch of updates of No Man's Sky, including one this week. Congratulations to everyone at Hello Games. But No Man's Sky, if you're not familiar with the story, was a huge title, and still is a huge title. It spans a procedurally generated universe, and when it launched, it wasn't exactly what some fans expected. There was a powerful reaction online. Obviously, the game is very ambitious, and they would admit that themselves. One feature in particular that players were anxious for and keen to see was multiplayer, and this update was the update that introduced it, causing a huge swell of support for the game as it continued to evolve and iterate and go through that kind of redemption arc that they went through. And it's still being updated today, like I say, so they're doing a really good job. I think the takeaway from this trailer is pretty clear. I mean, it's a very well-made trailer, it's a fantastic trailer, great music, great editing, but it succeeds mostly because of what it represents, and what it represents is players getting what they want. So you might not be No Man's Sky, very few games are, but lots of games, whether they're in early access or they're, just in the wish list stage, there'll be fans out there who are clamouring for specific features, and when you add those features, it's a good idea to try and call them out. So when you're going to do a trailer, if you know you've got a line item that's going to tick the box for loads of players and loads of fans that are desperate for this feature, make sure you highlight it, make sure you include it, feature it prominently in your trailer, and that's what Hello Games did so well with this trailer and why it was such a big deal on Reddit. Dan, what do you make of this trailer?
Yeah, brilliant trailer, extremely well received, like you say, and I think No Man's Sky is one of those titles that they, exactly as you say, they listen to their audience, and I think they put themselves in a great position where actually I think what the team wants is often very aligned with what the community want. We all know there are restrictions and limitations to what can literally be done in the time available, but also they're not just complete. They have their own ideas and ambitions as well that also get threaded into these updates. So it really is kind of like that perfect storm of giving the audience what they want, but also that whole kind of if you ask people what they want, they'd have said a faster horse, and they've got that creativity and we're obviously big fans. But yeah, this was definitely a seminal moment in the many updates that they've done. So yeah, great trailer.
The next trailer I want to highlight, and I should clarify, this isn't the full top 10, and they're not in order, so if you want to read the full top 10 in order, you'll have to read the blog, which we will share on Twitter probably tomorrow, maybe later today, see how we feel. Next up though is Labo, Nintendo Labo. So this is the platform that Nintendo launched, which allows you to create your own wacky controllers out of cardboard and plug parts of your Switch into it to make fairly unique gaming experiences. And I think the key takeaway with this one that we want to talk about is about how you present originality. Originality is almost always good. Every huge franchise started as an original idea one day, and carving out a marketing niche is easier when you've got something unique, something you can talk about extensively that differentiates you from everyone else in the marketplace. But I think the key thing that Nintendo have, and they have this in spades, and not every studio has this luxury, is when Nintendo launches something, you believe in it, that you believe that Nintendo can back up their original ideas with an implementation that actually works. So whenever you go down this road of being fiercely original, fiercely unique, fiercely carving out your own identity, you have to make players believe that you can back it up. So it's not enough just to be a massive dreamer. You have to be able to say, and this is a thing you can actually do. Like, this is actually going to work. So a textbook example of Nintendo pulling this off with success was Labo. They launched this, and the trailer was a huge hit on Reddit. People were very excited about the theoretical possibilities of this, and also just that backing that Nintendo provide. You feel like you're in safe hands with the big red house of Nintendo. Dan, what do you make of this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is, I guess, very much the opposite to the point you were making a minute ago. I don't think anybody was asking for some cardboard shape building add-ons to their Nintendo Switch, but yeah, it was very, very Nintendo. This was fairly early on in the Switch life cycle, and there was sort of like, what are Nintendo going to bring to us next? And I can't imagine there was anybody putting their money on it being Labo
cardboard.
is going to, yeah, and I think that as much as I don't know how commercially successful. Like, we don't see or hear a lot about Labo now, but at the time, just the sheer conversation that happened, because this was just like, what is this? Why? What? Nobody was expecting this, and just the conversation around Nintendo and the Switch would have undoubtedly been hugely beneficial for just general Switch sales. Yeah, very, very cool.
Talking of things that were very popular in trailer form and maybe not as popular when they came out, the next one is Fallout 76, and there's a few of these in the list that are like this, trailers that created incredible amounts of hype, and then potentially the game didn't quite live up to that when it came out. In Fallout 76's case, the teaser's a good one, and it hits all the notes that fans of Fallout 3 and 4 would have wanted to see. It's got those familiar musical sounds, visual cues, and references throughout to the game world they've established. And like I say, whether the game lived up to that at the end is debatable, but one thing is for sure, when people played Fallout, saw this, it got them really excited. People who were Fallout fans were so hyped when they saw this trailer. They were so excited by just these little references and nods to the franchise that they know and love at that point. And I think that's something that you have to be aware of. Like, you're not necessarily always going to be in a pitched position where you're trading on nostalgia like Fallout can, or like some of the major IPs can, but you're always trying to evoke a feeling, and Fallout's trailers evoke the feeling of playing a Fallout, which is so critical. We talk about the extended experience here at Etch Play, and about how taking what makes your game feel special, that tone, and imbuing everything with that just makes it all feel like one cohesive experience that was planned. And I think Fallout have really nailed that over the last few years with Fallout Shelter and their trailers. And this trailer is, a huge part of that. I think it was such a success. Whether the game stuck the landing, I mean, I've heard it's really good now. I've heard if you've got Game Pass, you should check it out. I've heard they've updated it loads. But a fascinating case study in how to create a lot of hype very quickly from Bethesda. What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, absolutely dialed into what is Fallout, and I guess Fallout 4 and Fallout Shelter and everything around that. We've talked about it before, like such a successful launch and kind of narrative, world building in and around the game. And yeah, this trailer really kind of leapt off from that high point. It's interesting, thinking about this, about No Man's Sky, like you're just saying. The game is now been much better perceived, I believe. We're kind of getting a little bit more used to these. We talk a lot about long life games, so games that are launched at a certain state with the full intention that this game is going to evolve and grow. And I wonder if there's a certain amount of conditioning happening with audiences that you aren't going to get everything out of the box on day one, but trust in the developers. They've got a long roadmap. We're seeing it with Sea of Thieves as well. You could say a similar reaction there. There's lots of instances of this happening, and you've got to create a splash with your trailer. You can't temper expectation, because we're going to be developing this game for the next 5 to 10 years. So let's not get people too excited. No, we want to get as much attention as possible. So maybe it's just an evolution of the kind of the hype setting and conditioning the audience to expect, to kind of temper their expectations themselves, and just learn to trust the devs.
We're not going to talk about it on the show, but if you read the full blog, you will find out that one of our entries starts with cyber and ends with punk. And that's another fascinating case study.
Example, yeah.
Last one then, before we wrap up here, is Half-Life Alyx. It might not be Half-Life 3, but it's the next best thing. And the angle of it being a virtual reality title generated loads of intrigue and excitement. There are few, if any, games like Half-Life out there in terms of brand loyalty. But this trailer, and I think you mentioned this, Dan, you were talking about how No Man's Sky, they deliver on what fans want, but on their own terms, in their own way, with their own spin on it. People have been talking about Half-Life 3 or a new Half-Life for years. It was almost a joke that it was never going to come out, right? There were people like, Half-Life 3 is just doesn't exist. It's never going to exist. Valve can't count to 3. And they still can't, because they called it Half-Life Alyx. But they did give people a little bit of what they wanted, wrapped up in a lot of what Valve wanted to do. And the game is, by all accounts, an excellent game, one of the premier VR titles available. Obviously, that's not necessarily easy for everyone to play in their own home with their own setups, but this trailer did a great job of, bringing the dream to life, showing people what this VR title could be like and is like for people who have room scale VR in their homes. What do you make of this one, Dan?
Yeah, I think this was a brave move, because if you were ever going to say like, oh, let's give the people what we want, Half-Life is one of the franchises that you're playing a very dicey game with. So I think they did extremely well too, and that they got the trailer right and got people excited, not only for Half-Life Alyx, but actually maybe this was at the point where the buzz of VR was, maybe the gleam was starting to wear off a little bit, and I think this injected a resurgence of enthusiasm for VR at the time. So yeah, very brave move, but very well executed.
I agree. We've got some generic tips for you about Reddit as well. So if you're thinking you want to post on Reddit, you want to post your trailer, obviously if everything was going well, somebody else would be posting your trailer for you. But maybe you're quite a small outfit, maybe your game's not out there yet, and you want to post on Reddit, you are welcome to do so. But there are some things you should know. First generic tip is to always know your communities and learn their rules and abide by them. Every subreddit is what they're called, has its own way of doing things. There'll be some subreddits that take a very dim view of self-promotion. There'll be others where it's allowed, as long as you're very clear about it. And there'll be others where they're just open season, do what you want. So make sure wherever you're going to post, you've read their rules, you understand them, you understand the etiquette of posting in that particular subreddit. Research suggests that the best post titles are between 20 and 80 characters in length, so use them wisely, is this top tip. You might need to mention the title of your game based on the subreddit's rules, but if not, save the characters and use them to say something else instead. So people talk about an elevator pitch. This is a hyper-focused version of that. This is your 20-character pitch. How can you describe your game in just a few words and really sum up that unique selling point that's going to get people interested in watching this trailer? So bear that in mind. According to research, the best times to post are in the mornings on weekends and Mondays, and that's based on the American time zones. So, pick one, East Coast, West Coast, or the middle, and react accordingly. And the key thing, and we always say this about social networks, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, Reddit, TikTok, any of them, give it a try and measure your results. You can tweak future posts and trailers to try and zero in on the best results for you over time. So the key thing is not to avoid it, but to start doing it and learn by doing. Would you agree with all those top tips, Dan?
Yep, very much so. I would add, I think there's an element of humility that you can bring, certainly for the smaller titles. Reddit is a very useful community, and people they like to be asked for advice and opinion. So if you are trying to introduce a new, your new title or trailer, and maybe you don't have the existing fan base or audience, rather than check this out, you're going to love it, frame it as I'd really appreciate some feedback, or what are your thoughts on this, or any ways I can improve this. And I think that community is used to answering those kinds of questions, and perhaps you might get a little bit more traction.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me, Dan.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. I was miffed that I didn't get any cake.
Anyway, I didn't get you cake, Dan, but what I did get you was a selection of our highlights from the last year of live videos and pre-recorded videos that we've done for the live show. So hopefully everyone can enjoy this. Grab a drink, kick back and enjoy. These are the highlights from the first year of the Etch Play Weekly live show. Enjoy. Dan, good afternoon.
Hello.
How's it going?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm excited because today is the first edition of the Etch Weekly live show. Maybe the last edition as well, you never know. We'll see how this goes. When we started doing the live show, nobody really had any idea how it was going to work. Like, I remember we started doing video in our office before the pandemic, and that was kind of the seeds of what would become the show, in particular the gameplay segments.
Who's that guy on the wall?
What?
Wait, this is not kitchen cleaning. I feel like our health rating is going to be a 2 at best.
The 11 secret herbs and spices and the secret dog who prepares the chicken.
Maybe dog hair is one of them.
His name is Sprinkles.
Oh.
I would die for Sprinkles already. That's where I'm at with this.
He's a cutie. He's got his own little podium as well.
Yeah,
he's like a Greek god.
Oh, he's cute. He's called Sprinkles, but he insists on being called Professor Dog.
Professor Dog, that's amazing.
Okay, I think we're recording. Press B and start driving around. Shit! I knew there was something else to get in. Oh.
If you like this game, if you're enjoying it, please leave me some hearts in the comments. Then I can play another game for you next week.
Half an hour remaining then.
Yep, thank you very much for all your hearts.
Credit to them for winning back possession.
And the show has that. It has that entertainment, but it also has guests and really allows us to delve deep on topics that interest us from the world of games.
Hello and welcome to the world of Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Nintendo Switch. I'm joined by Emma Budd and Tony Atanasova, 2 Animal Crossing aficionados. Hello, thanks for joining me, guys.
Hello.
Give people at home a little wave.
It's Thursday, it's 4 o'clock. That can only mean one thing for reasons that are entirely arbitrary, and I don't remember exactly why. It means it is time for this week's weekly Etch Play live show. And as you will probably notice, this is a particularly exciting episode because I am joined by actual other people.
This is the Etch Play Weekly live show, and I'm very happy to be joined by Astrid Rosmarin, all the way from Montreal.
Amandine, it's nice to see you. Thank you for joining me.
We're not really the authority, so we thought, why don't we get someone who actually knows what they're talking about onto the show? Hence, bringing Kelly on, who is an expert in this area. I'm joined by Bruce Grove from Polystream. Hello, Bruce. How you doing? And I'm joined by Gina Fels from Tailwind Games. Gina, how are you doing?
Should we talk about TikTok?
Yes, of course. Always happy to talk about this.
Hello and welcome to the Edge Play video. We are a 3-man team. I'm joined by Ben Joy and Ben Gammon. Say hello, Ben Joy.
Hello.
And say hello, Ben Gammon.
Bonjour.
We are dwarves in space, and we are going to go mining. You ready to drill some rocks, guys?
I'm ready to drill some rocks.
Right, let's do it.
Oh, look at these tactics. It's all Southampton. It's all Southampton. Look at that pass. Come on, guys! Yes! What a goal! What a goal! 3-1, and it's Southampton.
This is it.
Here we go.
Show me Halo right now. They're going to save that for the end, aren't they?
Yeah, it's absolutely not going to be Halo out.
Oh, that looks like Halo. Could be Halo.
If you do this for every trailer.
Christmas was special for a lot of us. I remember we knew we couldn't do a show live that week, so the only thing I could think of was to just record all this Christmas special content and have it scheduled to go up over the holidays. Like for Christmas, you could see your family and eat a roast dinner. You could also watch us play games in our Christmas jumpers. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to go to customization. I'm going to confirm I want to play as a polar bear in some sort of spaceship, and I'm going to press start game. Who are you playing as? Is that like Buff Crash Bandicoot?
I can't remember what it's called. It's not Coco, is it?
No, Coco's his sister.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Crunch Bandicoot.
That's it, yeah. It was some word beginning with C.
C-word Bandicoot. Hello, it's Adam here from the Etch Play team, and it is Christmas, so we're playing some family fun games. This is Fibbage 2, part of the Jackbox Party Pack 2, and I'm joined by some play teamers and friends of the play team. We've got Miles. Say hello, Miles.
Oh.
We've got Joe.
Hello.
We've got 2 Bens. We've got Ben Thornton.
Hello.
And we've got Ben Joy.
I should have known you weren't going to do me first.
Ben Joy is currently waving, but he doesn't know that I'm actually not capturing webcam for this. I'm just capturing the game. Classic Ben Joy behaviour. We're going to play some Fibbage and have some fun because it's
I think
time
you
for
forgot
fun.
Emma.
You forgot me. And
Wow. I don't feel so bad now about being the second Ben. At least I got remembered.
That you'll put Christmas jumpers on for you to not catch.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that at all. We're all wearing Christmas jumpers, like deliberately for this video, and we're not even filming it.
Picture the scene, Christmas jumpers galore.
Yeah, I'm wearing one with a robin on it and nothing else.
I'm literally naked.
I mean, I guess that is what happens in prison, isn't it? Don't do crime, kids, otherwise you'll end up like me. Oh man, I mean, this is the thumbnail for the video right here. So yeah, clearly a game aimed at adult audiences, shall we say? Bit of swearing, bit of nudity. If you are below 18, please turn the stream off and apologise to your mum. I'm going to need you to like sign something that says that you've seen me win races before this one. What are you doing? Are you drifting a lot? Is that how you're getting speed?
Yeah, I do a lot of drifting.
Okay, I think that's
I throw my cart around all these courses. That's why I'm not very good at the ones where you can fall off the side.
This is a very drift-heavy
It's like
course.
having the bumpers up on bowling. Oh, I just got it funny. You know when you've got the bumpers up and you play bowling, you just have to get the ball down there. You don't worry about any kind of skill, you just got sheer force. That's me playing Crash Team Racing.
Let's find out the truth.
I think it would have been a bit early for him to have tweeted about Trump in 2014.
I mean, Trump existed in 2014.
Yeah, I did think a bit Trump.
Yeah, he might have enjoyed his acclaimed business career.
That's
All his appearances on The
What
Apprentice.
year was he in Home Alone?
That was like the 90s, wasn't it?
It was in 2014.
When did you watch it? Oh, it was October as well. So maybe not.
Or as they're called in his native Austria, selbst in Foto mein Kopfenstein. And we're done.
Anyone do a good Arnold Schwarzenegger impression? Can you say "I love selfies" as Arnold?
Give the people the air.
Sorry. He did say good.
That didn't sound like I love selfies.
He said it in Austrian.
That was awful.
Thank you. At least I tried.
You did.
Try. I appreciate the effort as well. There it is. Emma Budd, the official champion of Crash Bandicoot, or Crash Team Racing, I should say, rather, for the Nintendo Switch. Man.
Adam wins everything normally, so this is quite impressive.
This is a Christmas miracle.
Can anyone do a Jimmy Carter impression?
I'll be back.
Which one's the truth?
I think for us it's been a way to share something enjoyable with the team, because it's not just about me, Dan and Adam, it's about everyone, and we like to let everyone showcase themselves and show who really is behind the magic of Etch Play.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on first and
I see it.
Who's going to let
Oh!
Oh!
Ridiculous.
Oh!
Ridiculous.
Wow! What a play! I saw it.
First half is winding.
Oh, did she?
Get him, Pete, get him!
I can't get to him. The bus isn't quick enough. Oh!
Yes!
Oh! It's in him.
Now to charge. Oh!
It's him again.
That is
Love
so
bus, I
close.
think. Love bus. Oh!
I've been wrecked.
I wrecked the one.
Oh, what the hell is this turn?
This isn't going to end well for me.
Oh my god. I'm just stuck.
The harvest has gone out the track. Benjoy, can you get out of the way? What's going
What?
on?
How am I supposed to get out of the way when
Get
the
out of the
harvest
way
is
of me
there?
and the love buses. Oh, just in the corner.
A little bit jumbled coming out on the field.
I'm not going to make the kick, but if I do...
And that's exactly what they did there. They threw it down.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. Oh my god!
Hello and welcome to possibly the dumbest idea for a video that we've had yet. My name is Adam Burt and you're watching the Etch Play live show or watching Etch Play on YouTube, and we're checking out Ring Fit Adventure.
Some of the conversations we have on the show are just brilliant. It's great that we get to tackle some of the biggest issues and discussions in the world of gaming, and it's just great to be a part of them.
Straight away I can tell you, investigative journalism, this here is chocolate. Or I hope it's chocolate.
Yep, I can see that.
So we think,
we think it's got chocolate filling.
Thinking it's a chocolate filling, yeah. We haven't done our research at all. Okay, so you ready then?
Yeah. I don't want to know what it tastes like before I eat. I want total surprise.
Okay.
Are we going?
3, 2, 1, go. Here's the way forward. Punch the robot.
Did you just punch that robot? Wasn't that helping you? You'll just punch anything.
You know, Doom Guy is an angry man. He's got a lot of rage.
Yeah, so you keep calling him Doom Guy.
That's his official.
Is that his name? That's his official
canonical name, as far as I'm concerned. Is Doom Guy. Okay. He might have another name in some book somewhere, but I'm pretty sure he's Doom Guy.
Dan Thomas is screaming, "He's called Steve!" Imagine if he is called Steve.
I don't think he's called Steve.
Nah,
but I do know Master Chief's real name is John, so...
John Chief.
Yeah. His middle name's Master, and he just hates being called John. Okay, we've got a boss, or a bad guy coming up, it looks like. Okay. Blue Nautilus. So I've got to choose an exercise, and the exercise that I do will do damage. Okay, blue would be best, but that's a thigh press, and I don't really want to sit down because I'll be off cam. I think we've got to do the thigh press. I don't want to, but I'm going down. Oh god. Okay, you can still see me kind of putting it between my legs.
Okay, let's move. You can exercise your lower body while sitting. Well done. Very nice. Fantastic. Excellent.
Do you ever think about the fact that they're the Mario brothers, but one of them's called Mario? So his name is Mario. And Luigi's name is Luigi Mario.
I think that's a better name than Mario. So good they named him twice.
Yeah. I mean, talk about living in your brother's shadow, though. Luigi's like... His last name is literally his brother's name. You can't escape, the popularity of his brother.
Which is the older one? Is Mario the older brother, or is Luigi the older brother?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure which is the older one.
Shoot this demon. Punch this
demon.
So
by that logic...
Knee this demon.
Wario and Waluigi, the Wario brothers, and it's Wario, and Waluigi, Wario.
Was Wario birthed, or did he just come into being? Like, I'm not sure if he might be like. I
feel like he was birthed.
He might be like more of a Madonna situation, where obviously she was born, but she's only got one name.
Drop the ring on. Fine work. Great. Wonderful. Fantastic. Awesome. Amazing. Okay.
Thank you, Ring.
Very nice.
He's very positive, isn't he?
Great.
He's so nice.
Fantastic. Fine work. Excellent.
Okay. Victory.
That battle was epic.
Level up.
It's definitely chocolate.
Yep. Strong chocolatey flavour in there. Can you taste the halo?
Oh yeah.
You can
That's Master Chief if ever I
you can really taste Master Chief. The suit really seals in the flavour.
There's a lot of chocolate in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of chocolate.
Even though we pre-record some of the content, at the end of the day, this is a live show. Anything can happen, it keeps us on our toes, and you never know when it's going to abruptly descend into chaos, which it does. Happy 1 year anniversary to us, and here's to the next year.
Oh, dead. What just killed? Oh my god. Oh, they're on both sides. Oh no.
Oh, they're on ship again, Adam. Go on! Get him, Adam!
I'm dead.
I'm dead as well. And we've hit the island as well.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching today. I really appreciate it. Like I say, it's a special episode for us, and everyone who's been part of the show, whether as a viewer or as a guest or as somebody who shouts about it on Twitter, is very special to us today. So yeah, thank you for everything you've done for us in year 1, and I hope we make it to year 2, and I hope that we can add to those precious memories for you. If you don't follow us yet on Twitch, now's a great time. We're at twitch.tv/etchplay if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're watching it on Twitch right now, the button's in the corner. Go and press it. You get notified every time we go live. If you're watching us on Catch Up, or you want to watch us on Catch Up, youtube.com/etchplay is also us. You can subscribe on there, and you'll see episodes of this show, and also all the other content we produce as well ends up there. So, yeah, we'll see you again next week for episode 52. Thanks for tuning in. I've been Adabert, and we will see you again next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Keep waving, Dan.
That's the way it's done.
Classic technical difficulties on the anniversary show. There we go.